right there,
Yeah.
that right there, that just showed you how things just come back around to you no matter what, how blessed you are. If you do one thing, you keep passing it on, other will be blessed. I love it. Oh, it almost had me in tears.
You can't outgive the Father, right? To the sower. You know, we try to hold on to our little pennies and he's trying to give us dollars, but it's like we gotta just allow it to flow. You know what I mean? Be that conduit, be that vessel, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. That was the best video. That right there is a whole subject on its own.
Man.
Like, knowing how to actually feel free enough to be able to give and not be too stingy. Especially if you know you can. Like that right there just warmed my soul, because that's seems like something we both would do.
Yeah. No, I think you have done it. You know what I mean?
Do.
Like that's what I was talking about. It coming full circle. I mean, like you've given your last many times. You know what I mean? And so It's like, you know, you sow seed, and now like you're reaping the harvest. And the good thing is, like, we're not even reaping like our own personal harvest, but we're reaping the harvest. We're reaping seeds that been generations ago. You know what I mean? Like all of this coming to harvest right now, and by His grace and by His mercy, you know, we're the beneficiaries of it. You know what I mean? He said, some plant and some water, but to the Lord be the increase, you know? And so right now we're going from faith to faith and from glory to glory, you know what I mean? As we acknowledge the dignity and worth of every human being, you know? So that's all I'm saying. It's your season, I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I give thanks for that. You don't understand how much you've done for me. So I just have to, I thank you so much for that. I want you to know how much homage I have for you. You're my favorite person in the world. Like, I'm gonna say that right now before, like, you don't have to be famous. You don't have to pass away for someone to tell you how they feel about you. Message to everyone out there, please tell people how you feel now, especially in 2020. But Maha, you know how you are. You know, oh my God. I love you so much.
I love you too.
You are my favorite person in the world. You were there for me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You remember the hard times I had to go through when people I was around were calling me the devil.
Man.
And they were making my life so horrible. You know what I mean? And then guess who pops in? The one everyone calls Jesus. Christ-like energy on what? Like, if you want to know what Christ-like energy is, you guys really need to know who Amaha Sellassie is. That's Christ-like energy right there. And a lot of people are missing that. I've noticed that no matter what group I go in, religious, spirituality, whatever, people are always lacking something because they want to hold on to something else. And I'm like, oh, you're missing it. I even made a video called Cocky Spirituals because I'm just like, you're missing the whole point. You just want to sit here and be like, oh, y'all ain't doing this. Y'all ain't right. Y'all ain't that. Y'all Christians, y'all boot, y'all, everyone else but me. Y'all ain't right, but I am. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh, you don't get it.
Yeah, that's really, you know, it's interesting. I mean, it's all the grace of the Most High, right? But
absolutely.
But the goal is to decrease to increase, you know, and it's like right now, it's like wherever I see good works happening around the globe, I just give thanks and praise because I know it's all part of the same team. It's all moving from the self-same spirit. You know, people may call different names and different things, but it's like, yo, it's like, it's greater than that. Because right now it's about like, what kind of spaces are you occupying? You know what I mean? Like what kind of energy moving through your vessel? You know what I mean? Like what are you opening up your heart to? You know what I mean? And like, you know, like this morning somebody sent me a verse in Revelations 3, I think it was like 15 or something like that. And, you know, talking about being lukewarm and cold, you know? And so like right now, it's like, we got to be as hot as we can. We got to shine that light that people can know, taste and see and know that this is good. You know, because it's one thing to have an aspiration, but we can't fully have an aspiration if we don't know what is possible. You know what I mean? So like, that's why we got to be that first fruit. We got to be that fragrant aroma that people can know what is possible. That's what gives you the zeal to pursue it, the hunger to pursue it. But if I don't think it's real, then I can't fully pursue it. You know what I mean? And so like he prepared a place for us, you know? And so like how we enter into that, how we enter into his rest, how we give the same love that he gave unto us. Like we watched that video and we're talking about giving to receive, but really it's that love, right? You know, like I can't receive grace if I can't give grace. That's why he said a disciple is known by their love, because the Most High is love. You know what I mean? And two cannot walk unless they agree. But as we abide in what he is, then he abides in us. You know what I mean? That's the glory. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to pursue the Most High, but it's the next thing to know that it's his joy to be inside of us, right? To dwell in these earthen vessels that no man can boast, because it's all by grace. We can't say we did this, we did that. Nope. We're all undeserving. Let's just get it straight. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get front. You know what I mean? It's all grace. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So why don't we just receive what's already been given? You know?
Absolutely.
I'll get going. So
you said love, and that right there clears everything else out, because love is the highest frequency. Yeah. And then when I'm going to people's pages, they might say they talking about love, but then they start getting into these whole little things of their own, like, yo, y'all this, y'all that way, y'all ain't gonna make it, we gonna be okay. Y'all, I was like, wait a minute, everyone here right now is on this earth, quit saying y'all, anything can happen. You know that, right? You're not moving in the right energy. Yeah. You're not moving in the right energy. You're still divided and conquered. You're literally still divided.
True. Yeah, the Bible calls it the spirit of unity, but in African philosophy, it's Ubuntu, which means that I exist because you exist, and you exist because I exist, and I can't be all that I can be until you are all that you can be, and you can't be all that you can be until I am that I can be. Or summed up as I am because we are. And that's just the whole thing. Like, we've been tricked into believing that we're independent. You know what I mean? That like you are you and me is me. But no, it's a we. You know what I mean? We inhabit this earth, right? We determine if we're going to pollute it, we're going to destroy it. Well, we can't destroy the earth. It's like, it's knowing that we are together. We're a single garment of destiny. What affects one affects the other. You know what I mean? And so it's like, when we move in that then it's like, love, cooperation, collaboration, all these things come through. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that like sometimes when we don't understand our shared identity, then it's like we try to pick and we try to diss that with other people instead of realizing, we're all in this thing. We're all healing from trauma. We're all like we're all trying to unlearn these ways of the world. We're trying to unlearn the social constructs of race and gender, class, age, sexual orientation, all these things that try to tell us we assign meanings to, but it's completely made up. But we built a whole world on these concepts, right? And so it's how to unpack all these things, And from a Christian perspective, he said that, we're many members but one body, no more Jew, Greek, and Gentile, but one inside in him. You know what I mean? So like that second Adam means returning back to what it means to be human, right? And we realize our humanity in the presence of each other as we're sharing love amongst each other, while we're supporting each other. Why we gotta always compete, man? You know what I mean? Like your gifts are not for you, your gifts are for me. You know what I mean? I'm going to be selfish, Trinity. I want my gifts. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to bring them to the forefront. You know what I mean? And that's what it is with everybody, like how we bring our gifts together, that we get that multiplication, that increase,
You hit it on the nail, because one of my things was I had to stop trying to put myself in other people's groups and categories when it comes to this whole spiritual thing, because they really do feel like, no, this me. I'm like, okay, let me step back, because all I'm trying to do is help and give my energy. And you told me yourself how powerful my energy is, and I do need, and you told me before, like right after getting out the hospital, you told me like, gather back all that you've given to people. Gather that back. And look at me, I'm still today like find myself sometimes like, oh, let me help this, let me do that. No, I understand what you guys mean. I understand what you mean. I know it all, Oh, absolutely. And then they're just like, who do you think you are? And I'm just like, what did I do wrong? So I realized just to stay away, because even though people might say, oh yeah, we all believe in this one thing, like we all believe the flower is red, that don't mean that they're a good person. Whatsoever. So I don't care what your title is. What is your heart? Where is that heart at? Like, we all
the hearts are being revealed. That's what it means to remove the veils, right? Like, if people's heart are being made visible, you know what I mean? And so it's like, the work that people are doing in the closet, in the secret place, are coming out, you know what I mean? And some people, like they want to be in the spotlight, they want to shine, they want to this, that, and the other, whoop-de-whoop, you know what I mean? But like, I'm not seeking the praise that comes from man. I'm seeking from the praise that comes only from the Most High, because no man can give another person the anointing, you know what I mean? Like that's that free gift, but you gotta, receive it for yourself, you know what I mean? And so like, and, I got mad love for you, Trinity. You know what I mean? I mean, we've gone way, way, way back. You know what I mean? From the beginning. You know what I mean? And through all my foolishness, through all my everything, you know what I mean? You've always shown love. You always have my back. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's full circle to where we are now. You know what I mean? Because the whole boat is lifting right now, like for real, for real. Above men and people, above what we could even plan, think, or co-conspire, right? Something's happening globally. You know what I mean? There's a wave that's rising. You know what I mean? And so I just want to get my boat in the water. You know,
absolutely. So, yeah. We in there, like this shift, wherever this shift is, you've always been grounded and you've always been you. And no matter what, I'd rather be around people who have good intentions. You know, I'm just thinking that with the spiritual stuff and everything that I dealt with other groups of people, I think it's best just to stay with myself. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody got their journey, and they got to figure out what makes sense and what's right for them, you know. But like in this hour, I think it's most important to say yes, you know, to say like move past the fear, move past the obstacles, and truly just like whatever the Father's putting upon your heart. You know what I mean? Just say yes. And we don't need to have all the details, you know what I mean? But just say yes. And if that includes being with somebody, then so be it. If it doesn't, then so be it. But I know that like when we hold our energy and we press for the high mark of the prize, then we attract different levels of energy. You know what I mean? And so it's like how to be in the space to attract who's gonna fulfill you.
So you are definitely appreciated. I love you so much. And with that being said, why don't you let the people know what it is that you do?
Yeah, sure. I teach sociology. I'm what's known as a community-based researcher, and so I try to go out into the community, walk with the community towards realizing its aspirations, right? Realizing what I call collective hope, right? But it means that as a community, what do we want to work, live, and play in? Like, what is our collective vision, right? And then how we're going to leverage our resources, our gifts and talents towards making it happen. And that's where the hope comes in, because the hope comes in knowing that we can make the difference. The hope comes in that like we're not prisoner or we're not hostage to the conditions as they are, that we have the power to change them, right? Being the thermostat, not thermometer, right? So like what does a thermometer do in a room?
Gets the temperature.
Okay, what's the thermostat do?
The thermostat makes the temperature.
Makes the temperature, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? So we want to be thermostats and not thermometers, right? True. That's what it means to be the invitation, right? Wow. Like how we move in a higher level of power, right? And then we set the room wherever we are, right? We be the invitation. So like whatever I want to see out in the world, I try to live that out in my relationships. Now, you know, I fall short. I ain't perfect, you know what I mean? But like my goal is to manifest, right, the world that I want to see. You know what I mean? And then invite other people to come along on that journey instead of like saying, oh, when this person does this and this person does that. Right. You talked about earlier, that's giving our power away. You know, like what can I do? What is that millimeter that I can do to shift humanity towards the direction that I feel we need to go in or whatever? You know what I mean? And put energy on that and not getting caught up, you know, because we're all healing. We're all like unpeeling all these wounds, you know what I mean? And so like why can't we just have that collective agreement that, we've experienced trauma from a system that was designed to break us down and to dehumanize us, right? And so what can we do to realize our common humanity? What can we do to realize our dignity and our worth and to build a society that acknowledges that? You know what I mean? That's not just words, but by demonstration, the way that we organize our resources declares dignity amongst all human beings. So I'm a sociologist and community organized, and I just want to, support and walk and move deeper into this exodus, because I feel right now is a genesis, like you called it a shift, but that shift means a new beginning.
A new beginning, you're right.
And so it's like, what are we creating in this new beginning? What kind of relationship are we building? What kind of relationships are we healing? You know what I mean? Like who are we even restoring with? Because we haven't talked in a little while. You know what I mean? So that's why it's a blessing to see you. You know what I mean? Yeah, because like remembering means to remember, right? To remember. You know what I mean? And so it's like now the body coming together. And, we talked about a lot of things 20 some years ago, you know what I mean? And now it's coming forward, right? And so as I'm saying, it's that full circle, and so.
And it feels good too. spiritual videos about how people will try to be like, I don't want these people because they're white. I don't want these people because they're gay. I don't want these people because they ain't, you know, and I'm just like, next video. I like what you're speaking about, but and that might be the main person that turn around and help you.
Yeah.
I just know it's about your heart.
It's real. I mean, you know, for me, it's a whomsoever will. You know what I mean? Like some things are above my pay grade. You know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
Look, I just want to be that open invitation. You know what I mean? Because I come from a Christian perspective, and it's going to say the Bible says that whomsoever will, let them come and freely sip from the water of life. So really, my duty is to bring the water, right? Or to let the water flow. You know what I mean? Who sips, who doesn't sip is none of my business. You know what I mean? Like how you receive the word or don't receive the word. But like now, if I'm hindering the word, if you see my life and I hinder that, then that's on me. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying, like how we do that self-work. You know, so even like it talks about and I want to say Matthew 10 or maybe it's Matthew 13 about like there's a seed and some seed falls on different soil, and some they hear the word and then the vines come and choke it up, and some like it falls on stony ground so it doesn't get root. Yes. And then in some it's good soil and it takes good root, right? And so oftentimes we're looking at the soil, right? Meaning our heart condition, right? Like, are we ready to receive the word? Will our heart leap? You know what I mean? Like, cause the spirit recognizes spirit. Does your heart leap when the word comes? But the deeper part for me is that even the stoniest ground, roses grow out of concrete. You know what I mean? So it's like even the stoniest ground, if my light is bright enough, it'll pierce that darkness. You know what I mean? So instead of like discounting people, like, okay, if you got the way, show that way. You know what I mean? Compel people to come more to you instead of just like having this, heady conversation. Manifest it. If that's what it is, manifest the thing and we will all gather. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's about in this hour. You know what I mean? So it's not about head knowledge, you know what I mean? It's about like, what are you manifesting on the physical realm? You know what I mean? What are you birthing and making real? You know what I mean? Tangible. You know what I mean? Like that's what brought 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 to the early church. You know what I mean? People were walking in something. You know,
right. True, not just talking.
You know what I mean? You were distinct on the earth. You know what I mean? But like, we could all take shots at people. And I'm not saying I'll never do it either. I want to be clear that like I'm learning, I'm growing. I got a long way to go. You know what I mean? But I'm crawling to the high mark of the prize, man, because I just know what's possible. You know what I mean? That like we can move. And he said that there's a place sanctified or set for us that we can abide in all that is. Because everything is connected by spirit, you know what I mean? So the more we go into love, the more we are in connection with all things, And it's like, I know it's possible. I'm not there yet, you know what I mean? But I'm pressing, not because I'm pressing for me, but I want people to know. I want to make the way known upon the earth and the saving health amongst the nations, you know what I mean? That people can know, because sometimes we get sidetracked because we don't know what is real, you know what I mean? So like, what is that conscious reality? What is the zeitgeist or the thing that is moving in this hour, right? Like what does this season actually mean in our lives, and how do we move forward together as humanity? You know, like there was a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night when the children of Israel was leaving into the Exodus, you know what I mean? So now we're at like that River Jordan, you know what I mean? But to get over to that other side, we got to give that same love that we want. You know, everybody wants to be sons and daughters of the Most High, but who wants to be the sons and daughters of man, right? Who wants to be that servant? Who wants to be that friend? You know what I mean? Everybody's seeking the praises from each other, trying to boast each other up. I see people giving each other titles and all these things, you know what I mean? Instead of just like, doing the work, you know what I mean? Staying in prayer if you a prayer warrior, you know what I mean? If you in governments and be in governments, you know what I mean? Everybody got different gifts and talents, you know what I mean? But in this hour, it's like, how do I really activate what is? Like 8 Mile, where he said like this is that time, that season, you know what I mean? What you gonna do in this moment? You know what I mean? So like when you look back, what you gonna say? What you gonna see about yourself? Like did I move when the water was troubled? You know what I mean? Like
even if you do upchuck the first time, you're gonna get through it.
I say. It's a great gathering, and it's all about love and peace you know, and moving forward, you know what I mean? And, you know, we're all going to stumble, you know what I mean? But it's like don't allow the stumbling to be a hindrance from our unity. And we don't all have to agree either. If we only agree on one thing, let's move forward on that, even if we don't agree on the other nine. You know what I mean? But like, whatever we can agree upon, let's take that step, you know what I mean? Let's take a step, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's like, don't hate someone else, because it's kind of like hating yourself. We're all connected.
I say, yeah, exactly. When you hating on somebody else, you hating on yourself, because it's all one.
Like, bro, you don't get it. I'm one of those one lovers who don't care for the color. That's not my problem. That's something that was made through, that's systematic stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's an imagination.
It is.
I mean? Because really, it's a white imagination, right? Because like white imagine what white is, and then it said that if you're not this, then you're not human. Right, and that's what created these categories, you know what I mean? And then we treat each other based upon the meaning that we've given the skin color, but it's all an illusion, you know what I mean? So that's why one love is the key in this transition, right? You know what I mean? Because like we got to move past these labels that we put on each other. And yeah, you know, I mean, like there's been some white folk that done some dirt. There's been some black folk that done some dirt. You know what I mean? Every group has people who've done dirt within it. Absolutely. It's like rising to the occasion, rising above that, because, you know, like even the pandemic is teaching us that, because it's like we can get people sick, we can get sick, you know what I mean? Like all of these things. And so it's like, it just shows our interdependence, you know what I mean? And that, you know, we make the road by walking it, and that like, we can't do this by ourselves, you know what I mean? Yeah. But now I do believe, this is me personally, that like, there's been a world that's been created around the assumptions and the notion of whiteness that is being dismantled, right? Like if you look at indigenous teachings all over the globe, they talk about our interconnectedness and this, that, and the other, right? And so like, I don't feel that like white logic is driving the bus anymore, right?
That's one of the shifts.
It needs some healing in the back, but that don't mean people whose skin are white, right? It's different. There's an ideology, the idea of whiteness, and then there's people whose skin is white. You know what I mean? Just like Uncle Ruckus. Uncle Ruckus has skin is black, but boy, he will defend white supremacy tooth and nail. I love Jim Crow.
But I absolutely feel you. Like I can look at some white people like, there's no way I'm gonna say no to some pure hearts and some people who really are out there. I know white people who will do anything for the world and the earth and animals and everything, not just animals, you know what I mean? And then I know black people who do the same thing. So why am I going to cut one off? You know what I'm saying? I was like, look, if you really want to know how someone really is, get them drunk. If they don't say no N-words or anything colorist, you might be cool.
Man, yeah. You just made me think about, can the hand tell the foot or the mouth it don't need it? And can the heart tell the kidneys and lungs they don't need it? Right. It's like, that's the whole thing. Like the beauty is that like we need each other, you know? And the sooner we come to that realization, the easier it is to move humanity forward. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell my eye that I don't need it, or my heart or my lungs or all these things. Because we need all these things for the body to grow up to the fullness of what we can be as humanity. That's why we got to unpack they call them meta narratives, which is like the underlying ideas or the assumptions that we don't even think about anymore. We just build a world based upon ideas on top of it without ever thinking about it, right? And so it's like how to really de-root, you know what I mean? Like if we're going to bring down Babylon, then we got to bring down the ideas, right? That enables Babylon to exist, confusion to exist.
Hey guys, also this is a little health check-in break, and I just want you guys to know this upcoming season, when it's going to be a little cold and a little chilly here and there, and it's going to be a lot of things going on through all that is happening. I hope you guys stay healthy, you know, lift your spirits up, and I hope that you get any kind of health supplement that you possibly can to help you ward off any dis-ease. And try to be happy and uplifted, because when your body's not at ease is when things can come through, and that's when illnesses are invited. So if you guys can lift up your energy and be happy and at peace, or just watching anything that even help you do that, I hope you do that. And or look at any of these supplements that I have right here that can help you. And there's so many more. I will have a upcoming show about the health coming soon, so you guys just check in on that health.